Hits and hooks, just for the record. I have Paris indie artist Nick Falcon of Bralit's Music with me today. Thanks for talking with me, Nick.
My pleasure.
I'll
Yeah.
yeah. I'll be featuring your song Dinner Plans in the upcoming episode of Hits and Hooks Vignettes. In researching the songs for the show, I see that you have an extensive catalog of original songs. You've been working hard. I'd like to talk a little bit about Dinner Plans to start things off. How did this song come to be? Can you give us a little bit of backstory there, maybe?
All right. Well, my parents bought a house in the year 2000, and the previous owner had died in the house. And so, he had left some things behind, some good records, Astrid Gilberto and Dave Brubeck Quartet. And he had a few old books. And one of the old books was like an instructional kind of teach yourself how to play the guitar kind of book. And I picked it up and I looked at one of the progressions that they had, and it was like a blues progression. And I knew how to play basic blues, but I had never seen this particular progression. So I thought, well, I'll try to write a song around this progression, and that's how the progression. That's how the song came about. I used that progression in the book. I just copied it straight out of the book, and it's an old blues progression out of an instructional guitar book from like the early 60s, mid 60s. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. I'm familiar with the blues a little bit, but mostly what I hear and what I play is 12-bar blues. So how was this progression, particularly different?
The thing I found really interesting was how it goes from major to minor just before the turnaround. It goes from the major to the minor. I think
wow.
I forget.
That is cool. I haven't seen that before, no, at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard your studio version of the song first, and that's what I'll play on the Vignettes show, but I was intrigued to hear your live version on Bandcamp there. Recorded at La Cave, I believe, in Paris.
That's right, yeah. The 18th arrondissement, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Let's let our listeners hear the song we're talking about, and then we can dig into it a little bit. Here's Dinner Plans, Nick Falcon, live at La Cave.
So nice and intimate tonight, isn't it?
I got a phone call the other day. I got a phone call, heard a woman say, I got something cooking. Why don't you just come to my place? Dinner should be ready about 7:45. I got a phone call about 3:30. Another crazy woman saying to me, yeah, I got a bun in the oven, hun, ain't that fine? You got a bun in the oven, but it ain't mine. Changed my number, stopped for some gas. Got on the interstate, driving fast. I got a long way to go, I can't be late. Oh, the only one who knows my number has dinner at 8. My number, stopped for some gas. Got on the interstate driving fast. I got a long way to go and I can't be late. The only woman who knows my number has dinner at 8. You know, that's my mama.
Nice performance, Nick. Is La Cave a good spot to check out live indie music in Paris for the next time I might visit?
I think it is. Personally, I think it's underrated. It's not far from Montmartre. It's just a bit
okay.
north of the hill. Montmartre is on a hill, and just north of it, you've got La Cave Cafe, and I really feel it's really underrated. They have an open mic there for songwriters on Tuesdays, and it's run by an Irishman named Paddy, and I've been going for the past few years. I love it. It's great because it's underground. There's a cave, like a basement, cellar, and that's where they have and it's a tiny little cellar, but and I love how unpredictable it is because some nights you'll have loads of talent. Other nights it'll be absolute rubbish, but like most of the time you'll have something that's noteworthy, like something that's worth listening to, and I love it. And but I've stopped going recently. I haven't gone as much lately, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're in the neighborhood.
Well, I love Paris, and I do get back to there once in a while. So when I get back there, I'll check that out for sure. Is it like a big stone, like an arched stone basement?
That's right. Old-fashioned kind of cellar, yeah.
I think
I couldn't tell you how old it is, but it's at least a century old, at least.
Yeah. I think I may have been there once because just the way you're describing it, sounds like a place. I went to listen to some jazz there, I think, one night.
It's pretty generic name. So many places are called La Cave.
Okay.
There's like La Cave something. There's always La Cave this, La Cave that. But this one's just La Cave Cafe. But there are at least 10 La Caves in Paris.
Okay.
Just because it's kind of a bit of a generic name, kind of like the cellar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In Dinner Plans, I'm very attracted by your melody here. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about how the melody part of it came to be. What's your process of melody writing in particular?
I'm afraid I might disappoint you because I didn't put any thought. I swear to God, I put absolutely zero thought into the melody. It was just the first thing that just sort of came out of my head. It was just spat out automatically. From this chord progression. So I guess it must have been the chord progression that sort of implied this melody, and I just picked up on the melody from whatever the chord progression was. But I didn't put any, because some melodies I'll put thought into and I'll try to write it, maybe at the piano, and I'll put some thought into it. This one was absolutely just spat out with absolutely zero thought put into it. It just came out, honestly. Yeah. More centered around the lyrics and the chord progression.
Okay, cool. I mean, it struck me as very interesting because you've got this at the end of the lines. I think for the main part of the lyric, anyways, is that da 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 da. There's that octave. It's either an octave or a fifth leap at the end of the lines, which I find melodic leaps just really catchy in melody. So. Interesting that just sort of like fell out of you. That's great.
Well, when you listen to enough good music, these things just kind of register subconsciously, and then you've got it in your sort of database of tricks to pull. Like it must have been, I must have unconsciously plagiarized someone who did it. It's a trick. It's one of the old tricks in the book that you just sort of subconsciously pick up on, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a great hook, and you did it really well. When you're writing, do you tend to write your music first or lyrics first, or?
It really depends, but overall, for the most part, it's music first, and then lyrics tend to come later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Overall, usually. I mean, there are exceptions. There are definitely exceptions, but I just because I'm so sensitive to chord progressions and melodies and that sort of thing. And the reason I do this is because of the music. And lyrics are a bit of a secondary kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
It's rarely lyrically centered, but there are exceptions. Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. I mean, everybody has their own way of doing it. It's interesting to hear how people go about it. In your studio version, you chose to add some vocal harmony, I noticed, compared to the live one. Let's listen to that just for a moment.
Sure.
I changed my number and I got some gas. Got on the interstate driving fast. I got a long way to go, I can't be late. Oh, the only one who knows my number has dinner at 8.
What drove your choices here, and in particular, your thinking on when the vocal harmony appears in the record? Because as I recall, it shows up about halfway through the song.
Right. It's an intuitive kind of thing, really. It's like an intuitive decision. Like you feel, I think it could use some harmonies just around here. And I mean, I'd like to tell you it's more than that, but it all just boils down to just an intuitive kind of thing. You just feel it, you're like, yeah, it could use that there, and then you put it in.
Like needs an extra little lift at that point because people have already heard it for a while. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to keep it from being too repetitive, and you just hear it in your head, like listening back, and you're like, it's a bit bland. It's a bit boring if I don't put something else in. So let me add something else in there.
Right. Hear you. How about the instrumentation? I mean, it's really nice guitar work, I got to say. Is your guitar?
Thank
you. You're welcome. Is guitar your instrument of choice when writing? You mentioned piano a little earlier.
Yeah.
Is it piano or guitar or sort of random?
Well, for most of my stuff, it's been piano. But these days, if I want to write something melodic, something a bit more interesting, then I'll play the piano. I'll try to compose something on the piano. But the guitar is it's probably most of my stuff. I've composed most stuff on the guitar. The piano, I love the piano because there's so many things I'll write on the piano that I could never write on the guitar because it's all right in front of you. It's just a different sort of process. And but I started playing the guitar much earlier. Like I started playing the guitar when I was in my teens, and I didn't really start focusing on the piano until I was like in my late 20s, early 30s. So the piano, I guess, like if I were to write a song now, I might start on the piano,
Yeah.
But I used to just write everything on the guitar. But I realize now how much easier it is to compose something good on the piano. If you want to write something with a clever melody, something melodic, something catchy, the piano, I mean, that's the way to go. Especially if you're writing a ballad, my opinion.
A little easier to catch those like non-triad chords too. I find on the piano.
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. Those extended chords, you just see them. You see the extended chords. They're easier to sort of understand and see. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you were talking about this being a blues influenced song from that book. Are there any other influences in particular that kind of draw you in? I mean, in Paris, you've got gypsy jazz, and
but it's funny, even before I moved here, that was a bit of an influence for me, all this gypsy jazz stuff. Indirectly, yeah. Well, one thing that I think was a huge influence on me, like in terms of chords and stuff, was all that Brazilian sort of jazz from the 60s, like the Jobim, like Antonio Carlos Jobim or João Gilberto. The use of those minor six chords and like that guitar work, I fell in love with that stuff, and
the rhythms,
and exactly the rhythms and the voicings of those minor six chords, and I drew a lot from that, and a lot of my stuff you can tell draws from that, and then you trace it back, and it goes back to like Django Reinhardt, who used. Because he had, I don't know if you know Django's story, but he
a little bit.
His caravan burned down. It's an interesting story because he suffered this. He had a disability. He couldn't. His hand, half of his hand was burned, so he couldn't play chords the way he used to, and like he had to reteach himself the guitar. And he learned how to play all these minor six chords, and the only way he could make it work was like the minor six and like the 9 chords, and and he invented his sort of style of guitar all around his disability, and I found that absolutely, inspiring. And so yeah, those voicings come from that indirectly, because I think John Gilberto probably got him from Django, but it's probably Django if you trace it back. It's Django Reinhardt.
Yeah. I'd heard a little bit about him. I love his music. I did not hear that part of the story, though. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. He was, he's Belgian. He was a Belgian gypsy, and his caravan burnt down, and he almost died, but he survived. He was severely, injured, and couldn't quite play the guitar anymore. I think he was like half disabled or something. Half, yeah.
Interesting. So, Nick Falcon at La Cave in Paris, live audience. You're on stage playing your original songs. All eyes and ears are on you. What are you putting in your songs and in your performance to keep the crowd engaged?
I try to put in whatever is in the song. I try to think of its inception, and whatever it was that I was feeling when it came into existence, and I try to go back to what it was that made me want to write the song. It's just also it's a bit of drunkenness that helps. Sometimes it's just this visceral thing. It's a visceral thing that just sort of, you don't necessarily need to put a whole lot of thought into it. It just sort of comes out. If you're in the right state of mind, you still feel it. Even years after having written it, you still kind of feel what it was that made you want to write that song, and you still feel that sort of initial kind of gut thing that brought it into being.
Very cool. So, like, connection to the audience by being honest to your original inspiration, I guess. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, and also wanting to put on a good show for them, wanting to kind of, it's like you're telling someone a story. You want to make it captivating. You want to kind of, maybe you've told a story countless times, but you still want to make it captivating to them. So you're putting effort. You're putting effort to still make it captivating, even if you're bored of it. Which I'm not.
yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of addicting, right? Performing on stage.
I love it.
Do you still get the heebie-jeebies at all, or no?
I don't get nervous anymore, but I still, luckily, I still get a sort of thrill out of it. I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I hope I always will. I love playing before an audience. Yeah.
Cool. I have a second song queued up here to look at. It's called Starting Tomorrow. Tell us a little bit about your lyric development on this one.
Oh, I might disappoint you again here, because there was absolutely zero thought put into this. This is one of those songs where I just thought, I'll just spit out the first thing that comes to mind with zero thought. I think I made a point of having absolutely no thought, no conscious thought put into it. So whatever just came out, whatever my subconscious felt like spitting out, that's what came out. And it was this challenge that I gave myself. I told myself I'm going to write a song every day for a week.
Oh.
And this is one of the songs that came about. It just came out. And I think it was the pressure of kind of, because I normally wouldn't I wouldn't force myself to try and write a song, just sort of come out whenever it came out. But this time I was like, all right, I'm going to try to write a song, but just try from nothing, try from your subconscious or whatever. Don't think about writing a song. Just let the song write itself. It's a subconscious sort of thing. It's like, just let it come out, if that makes any sense. So it's more like a meditation kind of thing, like just let it come out. But no conscious thought actually went into that, except, obviously after the essence is there, then I'll sort of refine the little nitty gritty details. So that's where my sort of irony kind of, my it got a bit humorous. It got a bit absurd when you got to the second or third verse, no more bank fraud, no more that, that's me getting kind of bored with the whole process and just sort of turning it into a joke. But yeah, the inception of it, the beginning of it, was just me spitting out whatever was in my kind of subconscious. So maybe I was thinking maybe I should stop drinking so much, Cheers to that.
Well, that's what attracted me. It's I thought that the opening sort of premise was, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll stop, maybe I'll stop drinking. But then when it built into, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll stop doing bank fraud and blackmail and extortion, then it kind of went over the top, and I thought, okay, this is something else, that I hadn't heard before, and that's what
But
prompted.
I love that. But I love it when I find that in other songwriters stuff. Like when the kind of thing where it takes a couple of verses for it to finally be sort of exposed. You know what I mean? The stuff that builds where the
All right.
first verse flies under the radar. Second verse, maybe you begin to kind of suspect something, and then the third verse, something's up. You know what I mean? I love that sort of stuff that sort of gradually builds up, and you're like kind of suspicious the whole time or half the time. I love that kind of build up. You don't really get that, I think, very often in the Anglophone sort of culture, but you kind of get that, with Jacques Brel, for example. I don't know if you're familiar with Jacques Brel's stuff.
I can't pull it up quickly, but I have heard his music before. Yeah.
Well, there's a song called Le Moribond, which was covered by Terry Jacks in the 70s. And like the English version is really a downer because it's like, oh, I'm gonna die, and it's like it's a downer the whole way through. but but the French version is brilliant because like it starts out like, hey, my friend, I'm gonna die, and then he talks to the priest and like, yeah, I'm gonna die. It gradually builds up, and like he tells you a story bit by bit. He gives you bits and pieces, gradually. He's like, yeah, and you find out by the end that his wife is cheating on him, and he's like, he's gonna die, and he's like, well, I want you all to have a good time, and I know what's going on, but whatever, it's all over. So it's a great song. I recommend it. It's called Le Moribond, Jacques Brel.
Le
Le
Moribond.
Moribond.
Okay, I'll check that
Yeah.
out. I mean, I have heard that before in the song C'est si bon. And then there was the English version, which was, I think Louis Armstrong did it, Say si bon or something like that. And like totally lost in the translation,
Yeah, it's so good, I guess. C'est si bon.
Yeah, C'est si
It's
bon.
so
Yeah,
good.
it's so good in French. Yeah, I think, yeah. But anyways. Anyways, it's very nice. Let's listen for a little while. Here's Starting Tomorrow. Nick Falcon.
Woo.
There we go.
I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Said I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow. I'm gonna quit drinking. I'm gonna quit drinking so much tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Said I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow. Oh girl, believe me when I say I'm really turning a new page. Girl, believe me, girl, it's true. I really do wanna change for you. So no more bank fraud, no more blackmail starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. No more extortion starting tomorrow. And no more stealing. No more dealing in government secrets. Starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Said I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow. Oh girl, believe me when I say I'm really turning a new page. Girl, believe me, girl, it's true. I really do wanna change for you. Oh, look at the time, dear. Now I gotta go soon, it's past midnight. Now what was I saying? What was I saying? Yeah, I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow.
So we talked about a lot about your approach to lyric writing. I mean, your challenge of one song a day, was that for a week? That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that lasted a week, and then I couldn't keep it up. I just
What's
couldn't,
what's your normal sort of outside of those challenges? What's your normal method? Just sort of as an idea comes up, you say, okay, I got to write that one.
Yeah, it's a bit random. It really depends. Certain periods are particularly kind of fertile. Other periods are like dead. I might go 3 or 4 months without writing anything, and then suddenly I'll get just a burst of ideas. I'll get like 3 or 4 songs all in one go. It's really unpredictable, you know. It used to be a lot more. I used to get a lot more songs. I used to come up with a lot more songs, but these days it's just maybe one song every few months, maybe 5, 6 months, maybe one or two
Well,
a year these days.
you have a
Yeah.
huge catalog already of songs, so you're not
That
right.
might be why. I'm like,
You-
oh, I've written enough. You
Yeah.
know, I'll just wait for people to listen to what I've already written. You know, it's like when you've been telling a story and you realize no one's listening. You're like, well, wait a minute. Should I keep going? Should I keep telling this story? Or should I just wait for people to make sure people are actually listening before I continue? You know?
Yeah, I hear you. It's nice to have a live outlet for that, right? With the Le Cave and other places you play.
Yeah. People actually listen there. I like that. That's another thing. You know, a good selling point for if you want people to actually listen to your songs, if you go there on a Tuesday, people actually, they're quiet and they'll listen to your original songs, which is quite rare in Paris or anywhere. You know.
Yeah, true enough. Do you have any projects coming up, like that you're thinking, okay, this year I could do this, like musically? You got some more songs on the go or recording, perhaps?
Well, for the past couple of years, what I've been trying to do is put together a sort of anthology. I'm trying to record everything I've already done in a stripped down acoustic format, and releasing all this under Nick Falcon, right? So just my name. No bells and whistles, just like really stripped down acoustic guitar, maybe a couple overdubs, but for the most part, playing the song live and just trying to present the essence of the song. And I'm just trying to go through all the songs that I think are worth recording that way. And I've gotten through about 17 of them, and I'm trying to get through another 17 by the end of this year, hopefully. But unfortunately, I've just been recording it very DIY, doing it either at my place or my friend's place. And I haven't bothered to go to a studio for that. I don't know if I will eventually. The first batch, I'm really happy with. The first 6 songs I did in a church in Ardèche,
Oh,
a
interesting.
chapel in Ardèche. Yeah, I have a friend who's got a house down there, in the mountains in the south of France. And so he has, it's this really old house, and he's got a chapel attached to it, and it goes back to like the 1400s, apparently.
Oh, man.
1400s. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
beautiful.
So those 6 songs, if you listen to volume 1, those 6 songs were recorded in this ancient, this really old chapel. And apparently the last priest of that church is buried under it,
Oh,
So if you hear any mysterious kind of harmonies in there, it might be him. It might be his ghost.
I heard you music through Jamendo, of course, and also on Bandcamp. What are the best places to hear your music? I'll put those in the description.
I hate to admit, I'm not particularly fond of Spotify, but I have to admit that Spotify is probably the most consistent in like kind of keeping up with the way I want it to be now, like the way in terms of the cover art and like just all the releases the way they should be. I think the most up to date is probably Spotify.
Okay, cool.
And also Bandcamp. Bandcamp is good as well because I have full control over it. But like with the having to go through the aggregators and whatnot, I feel like a lot of the other services are lagging behind, whereas Spotify is very quick to update stuff. So like whatever you see on Spotify is absolutely the way it is now. Whereas if you go on Apple Music, it's like maybe a year behind or like months behind. I'm like wondering why it's still the way it is because like certain songs are released under the wrong thing. I change stuff a bit too often. That's my fault as well. But yeah, Spotify is the most consistent and the quickest in updating stuff. And I feel like, unfortunately, even though I'm not a big fan, Spotify is probably the most consistent and most reliable place to hear the stuff the way it is today.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure those get into the description. That's great. And how about your live music? I know the Le Cave, you're still playing there. Is there anywhere else in Paris or elsewhere that you like to play live?
Yeah, actually, I've got a weekly gig now at this place called the Canadian Embassy Pub.
Oh, nice, beautiful.
It's great. Yeah, I played there last night. Actually, I love it. It's a great place. They've got poutine, great
Yeah.
poutine.
Oh,
Love that.
yeah.
Pulled pork poutine. Love it. Love it. And so yeah, I play there from like 7 to about 10:30 on Friday nights, every Friday.
Every Friday.
And
Nice gig.
yeah.
Nice gig.
Yeah, it's mostly covers though. It's mostly covers, but
Oh, okay. You playing by yourself or with a band?
solo, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then there's a place in Montmartre because I live in Montmartre. I live in Montmartre in Paris, and there's a place in Montmartre I'll play at every once in a while, maybe like once a month, maybe once every 2 months. It's called Bar Basque. I'll play there occasionally.
Oh, okay.
So those two places are the ones I play at most often these days. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Well, thanks, Nick, for talking with me today, and all the best with your future releases.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Said I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow. I'm gonna quit drinking. I'm gonna quit drinking so much tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Said I'm gonna be a good boy starting tomorrow.